Yeah,
Okay.
it's being recorded.
Yeah, I just started recording it. All
Thank
right.
you.
Yep. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on your time zone. Today is Darlington, the ecosystem associate at Argent, and basically during today's workshop, we are going to be doing a walkthrough through a new SDK we launched, StarknetKit, and the whole idea of having this workshop close to us, right, is so you could ask any questions probably as regards to the architecture, as regards to integration, probably any issues you faced thus far with integration, and I'll do my best to help. If I probably can't answer right, I'll try to get the questions down, forward it to the engineering team, and probably send you a reply on our shared Telegram. All right, so I would just share my screen and we could get started. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Uh,
Yes, sir.
right. A lot of tabs. Sorry about that. That's Yep. So basically we launched a new SDK recently, the StarknetKit SDK, and the whole idea was to have that all-in-one community managed SDK, right, which developers could use to build and connect their dApps to Starknet. And StarknetKit is very much similar to like Get Starknet, but it improves over Get Starknet in a lot of ways. And for those with already existing dApps, right, migrating from Get Starknet to StarknetKit is actually very simple, and I'm going to like explain how. All right. So probably before we go into the documentation, because we're probably going to be walking through the documentation together, right? But before we go through the documentation, right, if you go to this site, you could see like some reasons why we recommend you use Starknet Kit, right? So first of all, Starknet Kit is like it's built with all kind of users in mind. So it doesn't matter how technically experienced you are, or probably how good you are with front end frameworks. Starknet Kit provides a very easy way for you like to connect your dApps to Starknet, right? And you can just do that basically with like a single line of code or a few lines of code. And with Starknet Kit, you have like all connectors. It comes with all connectors by default, right? And you have the ability to like extend the existing connectors, right, by opening a single PR. So Starknet Kit was built we took inspiration from Starknet React, right, to the modular structure of Starknet React, right? So even if probably a new wallet or a new player joins the ecosystem, right, and it's probably not available yet, you could simply just open a PR to like the Starknet Kit repo. It's going to be open source. Currently, I think you can. I'll probably forward the link later, but currently it's not yet open source, right? But it will be open source immediately after public comes. We are still trying to fix like a little issue we're having on the mobile side of things. So also Starknet Kit comes with mobile support through Wallet Connect, right? So with the Starknet Kit SDK, you can easily connect your app to the Agent mobile app through Wallet Connect. There's also like the fast implementation I told you about. So it's very simple to integrate a few lines of code and you would have something running. And also is like very much customizable, right? It's probably out of the box, you don't get a lot of customization, but when you like mix it up with Starknet React, you can really build amazing stuffs. And yeah, so we've got also some amazing things on the roadmap. For example, probably in the next coming months, we plan on releasing like some cool stuff, right, such as customizable connect buttons, a transaction tracker component, and we already have like a template starter kit to help you get started. And I guess that would be all as regards to introduction to StarknetKit. So basically, since it's like developer focused workshop, we're going to be going through the documentation. So we're going to be explaining what connectors are. We're going to be talking about how basically you could use StarknetKit with new connectors, how you could add connectors to like the repo, how you can integrate with Starknet React V2, and probably finally we could round things up with walk through the like the StarknetKit templates and how we can probably use that to get started. All right. So basically to get started, right, you need to install the StarknetKit SDK. I have this little boilerplate which I've been using for my previous classes, right? And I think it could suffice. So I'll send the link to like that particular boilerplate to the chat in case you want to probably like code along or something. Yep. So we're going to be using that boilerplate, right, to like set things up. Um so you could just copy the SSH, open a new terminal, just find something text up. Okay. Sorry. So I'm going to try to clone that repo. All right, and just going to move into it. Okay, and I'm going to open this in like my code editor. All right, so if you go through the repo, you would find it's like divided into different sections. We have like the vanilla section basically and the Starknet React section. So in the vanilla section, basically you'll be walking through how you could use the Starknet Kit modal out of the box, right, without Starknet React. And you have this default looking modal you could probably use. And for those who want like a bit more of extra customization, right? You want a adapting modal. Would walk through how you could also use it with Starknet React also, so you could probably have access to like Starknet React hooks, right? So for the first of all, we're going to get started with the vanilla repo. It's going to be helpful while we like walk through the docs, and it has a lot of things we're probably not going to be using, but the rest of the functions, right, because this is not like a Starknet JS class or something, so every other function, right, the increase counter, decrease counter, and get counter, we could just remove that. So we're just going to be needing the connect wallet and the disconnect wallet function. And okay, let me just open this browser. It's a simple ENS app. Sorry, we'll have to install our packages first. Sorry, install. So if you go through the package.json, right, you find out we already have the Starknet Kit dependency here, and this is like the latest version, the 1.0.10. And we also have a lot of some other things we are not going to be using, like the Starknet JS dependency, and the rest are React related stuff. We're going to sorry about that. So we are going to be using so we're going to be using React for this particular workshop, but you could feel free to use whatever template for front end template of your choice, Next.js, Vite, whatever it is, right? But for this, the purpose of the workshop, we're just going to be using React. All right. After installation, I'm just going to open this in my browser. Okay. Yep. So I'm just going to clear some other stuffs from here. Let's just remove all these parts because we are not exactly using this, right? We exactly update the boilerplate. So, yep. So we just have this simple UI, right? And basically we're going to be working on the connect wallet button, right? And just forget about all these parts. So the first thing we want to do, right, like I said, if you go through the docs, right, the documentation, the first thing you need to do is like to install StarknetKit. And for this workshop, for example, you could see we already had Starknet kits in the dependency. So we did have to run npm install Starknet kit, npm install automatically installed all the dependencies contained in our package.json. And if you go through the getting started part, you see it's a lot very similar to what you probably already have in your DApp with get Starknet, right? So let's say I had my DApp was previously using Get Starknet. The only thing I'll probably need to change to get things working out of the box, right, is to change my import. So rather than import the connect and the disconnect method from Get Starknet, right, I'll be rather getting it from StarknetKit. And that alone should suffice for like replacing your existing Get Starknet SDK with the StarknetKit SDK. But the question is, why should you do that, right? That's the whole essence of the workshop. That's what we're going to be walking through. Okay, so we already have this imported, right? The connect and the disconnect method from StarkNet Kit, and obviously, your connect wallet logic, which is going to be the first thing we're going to write, is actually very simple. So we want to like call the connect method, and we're going to store it in this connection object. And we're going to say await connect, right? And for the default, basically, await connect could work, but if you want like to enable web wallet, right, you probably want to pass in the web wallet URL. And if you go through, if you check the documentation, you would see like a list of parameters your your connect method takes in. So there's the always show discovery, there's the modal mode, there's the store version, there's modal thing, there's the DApp name, the web wallet URL, the agent mobile options, and also a list of connectors. So we're going to be playing around with a few of these. For just to get something working out of the box, right? We want to, if we want to have access to like the full connectors, which is usually available with StarkNet Kit, are going to just pass in our web wallet URL, which should be web.agents.xyz, right? And once we do that, what we want to do, right, is we want to simply check. So we're going to check if connection is set to true, right? So if you have something contained in it, right? And we're probably going to check so connection has different objects or properties contained within it. We're going to be using the is connected property to check that is connected is true. So if we successfully established a connection, right, this property should be set to true. And if these two properties are set to true, right, you just simply want to do stuff like probably like set the connection to use state to probably have access to it later. Set the store the connection objects. We will probably want to store the account API, the account objects, right? And we can get that from like connection.account. We probably also want to store the address of the connected wallet. We can also get that from like connection dot selected address. And once we have all these, right, like this alone is actually all we need to like establish a wallet connection. But recently we've been trying to push or champion for the adoption of the network switcher. We actually even recently wrote a snip, which I'll probably recommend you could check out later. And basically, it's the network switcher enables you like automatically request your DApp can automatically request the user to switch his network. So let's say your DApp is on mainnet and the user is currently connected to testnet on his wallet, his agent wallet, his Bravos wallet, or whatever wallet he's using, right? You can automatically request that the user switches his network. And we, like I said, we wrote a snip and we also wrote it up, although that's like a little bit out of where's that again? Okay, let's just check the documentation, not this. I'll probably forward a link to the snip later. But if you check our current documentation, right, going to Agent X, you can see like the network switcher for Dapps. So basically, it's a very simple RPC, just an RPC method. You probably need to like call. You could make a call to like the Windows.Starknet object to probably like switch the user's existing chain. So, but that's like um a bit out of the context of this call. So in case you're probably interested, I could send a link to like the snip later at the end of the call. But let's just try to walk through the doc since we have less than an hour left. All right, so okay. So I said with this alone, we should be able to like have the connection modal that basically comes out of the box with StarknetKit. So we try to save this, right. So we want to ensure that we call this function. So we have this simple connect wallet button, which calls the connect wallet function, right. And if we do all this right, we save and we go back. So I set up there. And you click the connect wallet button, you can see we have access now to like the connect modal, and you can see the four different connectors that comes out of the box with the StarknetKit modal, sorry, the StarknetKit SDK. So you have Agent's web wallet, you have Agent's mobile app, you have the Agent's X extension, you have the Bravos extension, and every other I think I once encountered this question, right. So every other injected wallet extension, so every other wallet that exists as an extension on Chrome can also be easily, it's also automatically detected and can be added to like the wallet option. So to do that, we'll probably need to touch on the we need to understand the concept of connectors, and probably while we touch on the concept of connectors, I'll probably show us how we could easily have access to. For example, if you check my list of extensions, you see I have BitGet wallet, which is a new player in the ecosystem, and does exactly have those is not contained in like the default model that comes out of the box. So but we're going to be adding that to like our wallet connect option. So we're going to be looking at how we can do that. Now going further into the docs, right, you can also disconnect your wallet using the simple await disconnect, the disconnect method, right. And probably when you disconnect your wallet, you might want to unset different things you previously set, like the connection, the provider, or the account and the address. And so that is also very simple. So we just come here, right, and in the disconnect wallet logic, we're simply going to say we're going to call make an async call to the disconnect method, and we're going to await the promise. And once we do that, right, we want to like unset most of all the states we set initially inside here. So for the connection, we're probably just going to set the connection to undefined. Something I forgot to ask, right? Is my font size too small? Do I need to increase it? I don't know. Do I need to work on the font size, or is it okay?
No, it's proper.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get your cash.
No, I was saying it's proper. It's fine.
Oh, okay, thanks. All right, so just going to go back in here. We're going to set the connection to undefined. We are going to set the account. We're going to just set that to undefined. Then we could probably just set the address, user's address, maybe to an empty string, right? And we don't have a disconnect wallet button here, but we could just do we could just use the if I was see we could check for the connection method, and we could see yeah, we could use the connection, right. And if we have the connection set, right, we could simply use this guy. Sorry. Okay. So if the connection is set, we want to use this guy. Those will probably just have something else. And this is going to be, so if the connection is set, we want to disconnect the wallet. So we'll just replace this by disconnect. And we'll call this disconnect. So but if the connection is set right, you probably just want to have the connect button instead. And so this calls the disconnect method, and this calls the connect method. And if we go back to our DApp, right, and we try to connect wallet, I'm going to connect to my Argentex wallet. And okay, we forgot to do a little bit of something. So we could probably do, if the user is connected, right, we can just show the address somewhere, and then we could do that here. So if the user is connected, let's just display his address to him. So we have user's address displayed here, and to disconnect, you can just simply click on disconnect wallet, and that's like disconnect our wallet modal. So next time we'll have our modal pop up, and that's about it for like the disconnect method. And the disconnection params, you could pass in the clear last wallet to like clear the last wallet which was connected. And like I explained earlier, right, there are some available methods with the connection object. There is a lot of them. There's this connection, there's selected address, there's accounts, there's the chain ID, there's the ID of the connected wallet, and a whole lot of other available methods you could probably check out. And okay, so we're going to be moving into connectors because of time. So what are connectors basically? We borrowed the concept of connectors from Starknet React, like I said earlier. And what this does is this helps us to make StarknetKit a better, perfect modular library. And so, like I explained earlier, right, at out of the box, we support three connectors, right? We support all injected connectors, which Agentex and Bravos are examples. We support the Agent Web Wallet connector, and we support the Agent Mobile connector. So in the case where you want to add a new connector, like I said earlier, once the repo is open source, it's very simple. You could open a PR, and and your PR would probably, after a bit of review, right, will be merged and will be available to probably developers who want to use that particular connector, right? And so the first connector basically we would probably want to check out are the injected connectors. So the injected connectors are like wallet extensions, right? Example, like I have three wallet extensions here, as you can see: the Argentex extension, the Bitget wallet, and the Bravo Smart wallet. And there's a little info on both supported injected connectors, right? The ones that come out of the box. And establishing like a connection using the injected connector is actually very simple. You need to import the injected connector, and then you need to pass into the connectors array the connectors you want to make available, right? And like I explained earlier, right, from if we use this piece of code, right, we just call the connect method. As you can see, we have access to this modal, but this modal, there's very little you can customize about it, right? So what if I want to decide I don't want to show I don't want all these options to be available to my users, right? What if I want to decide, okay, I want to place Bravos first because most of my users use Bravos. I want to place web wallets first because most of my users are maybe coming from a web 2 background, and I just want things to be like way simplified for them, right? You could decide which connector you want to show, and that's how we're going to do it. And we're going to walk through how we can do that, right? So for using the injected connectors, the first thing you probably need to do is import. You need to import the injected connector. And we're not going to import from Starknet React. We're going to import it from StarknetKit slash injected. Okay. And once we import the injected connector, what we'll simply need to do, right, is rather than have this, what we're going to do is I'm going to clear this out, and we're going to pass in a connector array. So I think that should be connectors, right? And sorry, connectors array, and the connectors are going to be. Let me just be sure it's connectors, not connectors. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yep, connectors. And the connector arrays, we're going to probably use agents, bravos, and we're going to include the bitskip connector. And to do that, basically, we're just going to say we're going to use the injected connector, and we're going to initialize it with we're going to need to initialize it with basically the ID of the wallet we're trying to connect to, and I think that should be it, right? So we're just simply going to pass in the ID. You can say ID Bravos. Um, okay, my should does it. Yep. Okay, it's passing the options first. Sorry about that. Mm, like this. New injected connector. Oh, just this. Okay. And this is all we need, right, to like initialize the Bravos injected connector. And if you probably want to also initialize the Agent X connector and let's say the Bitskip connector, right, we can simply just copy, and it's going to be the ID for the Agent X extension is Agent X, right? And for Bitskip, I think the ID is Bitskip get wallets. So that's the Bitkeep, right? So basically, these are all the connectors we want to like have on our modal. Now, if we save this, right, and probably go back and try to connect right now, you can see we now have the Bravos connector, the Agent X connector, and the BitGet wallet connector, and you can randomize how it looks like, right? You can customize. Okay, I want to keep Bitskip first. I want to keep Agent X first, and you could just use this basically to decide the order in which you want to like show off the connectors, right? And so every other injected connectors, right? Every other wallet extensions, you can simply just add them once you like know the ID for that particular wallet. All right. So the next set of connectors we have, right, is the web wallet connector. And I guess the web wallet connector is something like a lot of us are already familiar with, right? So web wallet basically is a self-custodial wallet that users could probably use in their browsers. And to enable the web wallet connector, basically you need to like import it. You need to import it from StarknetKit slash web wallet, right? And once you import it, sorry, there's a little error with the bug with the doc, right? I need to update this. So once you import it, basically you could just pass it in into your arrays of connector. And remember, with the web wallet connector, you need to always pass in like the URL for like web wallets, right? So if basically for dapps that are in production, it has to be like the URL for mainnet, which is web.agents.xyz. But if we are probably like testing out a few stuff and you need access to like testnet, you could probably like um, message someone at agents and you'll be granted access to the testnet endpoints, but it's not exactly available for like the public. Is not available for public use, just for developers basically. And so as I said earlier, if you want to like include the web wallet connector, first of all you need to have it imported. So we're just simply going to import we're going to import the web wallet connector, and then we're going to import this from basically StarknetKit slash web wallet. And once we have the web wallet connector imported, right, what we can simply do is we just initialize it basically new web wallet connector, and basically we want to pass in the URL, which is going to be https slash slash web dot agent dot xyz. All right, and this should be all you probably need to like initialize or add the web wallet connector to like your modal. So basically, if I save this right and I go back and I try to like call the connect wallet, you can see right now we have like the continue with email option. And I think the next connector, sorry, the other connectors you probably have is like the Agent Mobile connector. So there are a few guidelines you probably need to pay attention to if you are integrating web wallets. So these are guidelines that would help ensure that your users basically have like a better user experience. Then if you check out the Agent Mobile connector, basically you just need to import it from the Agent Mobile, it's StarknetKit/Agent Mobile. And once you import it, you need to add it to like you need to add it to your list of connectors array, right? And once you do that, you should like you should have it available. So there are a few connector parameters you might want to pass in within like the Agent Mobile options, and that can include like the name of your Dapp, right? You could decide to pass in the name of your Dapp. You could decide to pass in your project ID. So for the Agent Mobile connector, basically like all projects ID. If you don't pass in the project ID, it's by default uses the project ID from Agent. And it's not, no, most of all these options, right, are not like compulsory. You can decide to pass it in or not, right? You can pass in the chain ID, the description, and the URL of your Dapp. And so basically to like include the Agent Mobile connector, right, you can simply just import this Agent Mobile connector, and we're just going to StarknetKit/Agent Mobile, it's like enough to have access to it. And once you do that, right, we can simply just come and add it to our connectors array. All right, so after web wallet, we simply want to add Agent Mobile connector, and I'm just going to leave it as an empty array. Right, so once we do that, right, and we go back to our Dapp, you can see now we have like the Agent Mobile option, and you can continue like that, keep adding new connectors, so that the connector is available, right, for use. You can just keep expanding or like your modal basically. And you should also pay attention to the fact that the order in which you place the connector in the connectors array will determine the other to show up in the mobile. For example, if I cut out web wallets, the web wallets connector, right? And let's say I cut this out and I move it into the top of sorry, I move it to the top of I'm moving to the top of my connectors array, right? Now, if I go back and I try, you see that I have continue with email as like the first option. And so it goes basically. So that's about it for connectors. And so the next thing we'll probably be looking at is how to use StarknetKit with Starknet React. But before we go into using StarknetKit with Starknet React, I don't know, does anybody have any questions? Any questions you probably want to ask? Hello, guys. Any questions? Mm, let me see the chats.
Like I wanted to ask if you could like have a model within a model, like Web3 Connect. Could we have that?
Okay, Cash, I didn't get your question. Can you come again?
So I was saying like so now that we have a modal, right? So can we have a modal within a modal? Like can we have Web3 Connect within it?
Where can you have a modal within a modal? Okay, I guess we would
I was
have
talking
suffice
about
for use
Web3
cases like
Connect. No, for example, if I'm gonna interact with EVM and Starknet at the
oh,
same
I
time,
see, for yeah, for let's say bridges and inter cross chain
yeah,
dApps, right? So you're probably asking.
right,
I think that's possible. I can't remember where I saw that implementation. That should be with that should be on snapshots. So basically you can add. I don't know how they did it, right? I've not tried it, but I think it should be a possibility. So in that case,
like
I think it would be easier if you're probably trying to like integrate the Starknet Kit model into the let's say into like probably if you're using like Wagme or something, right? And you're probably just trying to add it to your model. And I think it should work both ways. You should be able to do that too. Let's say if you're using Starknet Kit and you want to like add um EVM wallets to like the model. I'll check out on it and I'll probably get back to you, Akash.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Like, if I could have some reference, it'll be really helpful. Yeah,
So
thanks.
you said,
I was saying, like, if there's any reference, if you could provide any reference, it'll be helpful. Yeah,
okay, let me see if I still have snapshot. Snapshot website. I don't. I do exactly remember the URL, right? Snapshots. Should it be snapshots.org? Yep, should be. I don't think it was here, but I remember it was.
yeah,
Can't
just
find
like
it.
that wallet
I'll
connect.
because of that, I'll probably check back on that and I'll get back to you. Just send me a message on Telegram.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
Let me drop my
sure. I do have it already. Yeah, thanks.
just send me a message on Telegram and I'll check and get back to you. All right, Carlos was
Sure, sure.
asking,
Thank you.
yeah. Carlos was asking, can we use the Starknet kit to implement an account abstracted account? An account abstracted account. I think I saw it in a TypeScript demo. Carlos, if you don't mind, could you probably like unmute your mic and trim more lights? Hello, Carlos, are you on the call? Is Carlos on the call? Yeah, Carlos is on the call. Hello, Carlos, can you hear me? Yeah, I think Antoine. I think that's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, snapshots X.xyz.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you tried to
I
connect.
am on. I am on the call. Sorry.
All right, Carlos, a minute. So, Akash, I think this is an example of what you're asking, right? So, snapshots is an example like of the question Dapps. So, you can see you have
Yeah,
the Starknet button, which makes use of
Okay.
the Starknet model basically.
right.
So, if you click on the Starknet button, you would see the Starknet kits. You can see the Starknet
Got it.
kit model here. So, yeah, that's possible, and I guess it
Got
can
it.
also
Thanks.
be both ways. Yeah,
Got it. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
asking. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the train. Yeah, I was asking because I know I didn't want to rely on the button, for example, on or even on to signing contracts again and again in the same front page. So that's why I was asking about an abstracted account because I wish to have that tool in the StarkNet kit, so it helps me to improve the user experience.
To be honest, I have no idea how that will work. But as always, I'm still going
Yeah,
to.
like you manage all the process with, for example, with a session key over the user, and then you can use all whatever you want, and then you, I mean, it pays for its own fees, but you pay for it for the with the whole economics of the business, I think like that. But I'm not. I'm kind of neophyte, so I'm I'm listening.
Okay, okay. Are you asking about session keys and P masters and stuff? Because I heard you talk about how you could be probably implement an account where users you can pay fees on behalf of users. Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, well, kind of, because, well, as I said, I'm not like super experimented there, so I'm just like looking for information and things like that.
Oh, okay. Probably I don't know if this is the answer to your question, right? But as regards to stuff like session keys and P masters, I think these are like this is made possible through account abstraction, right? For example, at Argent, we are currently working on a concept of session keys for like web wallets, but currently it's like closed source in partnership with Influence. So could give users the ability to like play games basically without having to go through the whole back and forth of trying to sign messages while you play your games. That can be very disturbing to the game UX. So I think that's made available by account abstraction. I don't think P masters are not available on Starknet yet, but I think when that's made possible, right, you should be able to do certain stuffs like delegating, like for example, the P master to make payments for users transactions. Let's say probably like totally or probably using a different token. I don't know if that's the answer to your question, but if not, you could also still send me a message on Telegram. And you said you saw an implementation in TypeScript, like a demo in TypeScript. Maybe if you could send that, I think that would be like a bit more helpful with finding an answer to like a question.
Okay, thank you very much. I will reach out to you and I will send you the link of the repo.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah. Okay, so in the light of no questions, right? I don't know if you have any questions. You could just use the chat, but we'll just head into using StarknetKit with Starknet React, and hopefully in like the next 20 to 30 minutes we'll like be done with the session. Okay, so to integrate Starknet Kit with Starknet React is actually a very simple process. So for those who are probably not, I don't think there's anybody who doesn't know what Starknet React is, right? But for the sake of clarifications, right? And Starknet Kit, Starknet React basically is a collection of React providers and hooks, which was designed by the Apibara team for Starknet. And it's very similar to WAGMI. So for people who probably used WAGMI on Ethereum, so it's very similar to WAGMI. It takes a lot of inspirations from WAGMI. And basically you have access to different hooks. It helps you, like, it simplifies your development process by a lot. So it's like, it's a very much recommended tool for like front-end app developers, right? So one of the big plus of using Starknet React, like I said, is I said at the beginning of the call, right, is the fact that it provides you like the opportunity to customize the look and feel of your pop-up modal for a wireless connection. So if you check out our pop-up modal, right, while we can customize what we get to like add to the modal, you can still see that we just have this one basic design, which is the one that comes out of the box with Starknet kits, right? So if you want to have something um more that resonates more with your DApp, right? You could probably build something from scratch, but you probably have to use the help of Starknet React to do that. All right, so the first thing we'll probably need to do, right, if you check the the boilerplates, right? You see, we have the Starknet React folder. Now, if you go to the package.json, let's just close this. If you go to the package.json, you'll see we have Starknet kits, which is like very important. The latest version of Starknet kits, and you have the Starknet Reactor. You have the Starknet JS, which you're probably not going to be using. And okay, you sure this is it? Oh yeah. So you can see we have the Starknet React. We have Starknet React Core version 2.0, and basically there's the Starknet React slash chains, which would give us access to like the chains basically we want to make available to our dApps. And so basically the first thing we probably need to do is we're going to stop this. We're going to move out and move into like the Starknet React folder, and we could just simply install first. I'm just going to use the legacy PLMs. All right, once we install that, we are just going to that's going to take a while. Okay, we're going to simply open this. We're going to start this application. And once it loads, it's a much more basic stuff. So we just have like a very simple page. There's really no CSS involved here. So all we want to do, right, is we're going to walk through the process of how we can use StarknetKit with Starknet React. All right, so if you check the recent Starknet React documentation, you should have it here, Starknet React. That's apparently I don't. Okay, so if we head to starknetreact.com, you'll see the documentation for V2. Right, if you go to the documentation section, you would see different info on how you can get started with V2. So we have our installations done. So we have Starknet React Chains, we have Starknet React Core, which is the tool we're going to be using. Then we're going to be using Starknet Kit in replacement for Get Starknet Core. And once we do that, you can see the steps. So first of all, we have to configure a provider. We have to configure our Starknet provider, which is going to have our chains, our providers, and our connectors. And once we do that right, the next thing we're going to do is to wrap our app in the provider, and that alone should like give us access to hooks. So we could, if once we do that, we could basically like use the hooks which is available with Starknet React, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head into the component section. So I have that here who in the source folder. We're going to head into the component section, and if you check the Starknet provider, so this document provider is like basically this is a file you need to create within the components, right? This is where we're going to like create our provider, our document provider. And so there are already a few imports here. So we've imported all our connectors. We've imported the injected connector, we've imported the agent mobile connector, we've imported like the web wallet connector, and as you can see from the chains, right, we have to import Goeli and Minute, which we believe like should be like the main chains, the chains our Dapps is probably going to be running on. Then we have the Starknet config, which you should be familiar with if you're coming from V1, and we have the public provider, which gives us access to like a default provider from a default provider basically from what's it called, from Starknet React, that you can basically sorry, that you can, yeah, a default provider from Starknet React you can basically use to for your app. So if you go to the RPC providers, let me be sure I know what I'm talking about, right? Yep. So you're supposed to like instantiate like a provider array where you pass in like your list of providers alphabetically, right? So yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So there's a public provider which is already shipped with Starknet React, and it's provided by Lava Network basically, and you could just basically use that instead. And we are going to be using that like for the sake of this workshop. All right, so if we go in here, the first thing we probably need to do is we need to what's it called, we probably need to instantiate our chains, our provider, and our connector, right? So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to create our chains array. And the chains basically is going to just be Goeli. So it's going to be Goeli and Minute, which we already imported earlier from Starknet React slash chains, right? And the next thing we want to the next array we want to instantiate is like the providers array. And the providers array, we're just simply going to use like the public provider. I'm going to use the public provider instead. And we'll need to instantiate our connectors. Now within our connectors, right, so now begin to need to do we could start with our injected connectors, right? So we're going to instantiate the injected connectors, and we're going to pass in the ID. Sorry, the option. The ID is going to be agent X, and the name we can pass in. I think with V2 you are permitted to like pass in like a readable name, right, for your connectors. So we can pass in agent X, yeah, and we can just copy and paste this, right, um for Bravos and for Bitkeep. So this ID is going to be Bravos, and for Bravos we want to use the name Bravos, right? And for Bitkeep, it's also an injected connection, injected connector, right? We can use the name. I think the name is Bitget Wallet, right? And other connectors, right? Which probably use this, the agent mobile connector and web wallet connector. So for web wallet, we're just going to say web wallet connector, and what we need to pass in is like the URL, which is okay, web.agent.xyz, right? And finally, we want to pass in the agent mobile connector, and we're just not going to pass in anything in there. So these are the connectors we want to like use. And once we have this right, we are just simply going to okay, I'm going to in, um use the Starknet config, right? And we're going to pass this into like the Starknet config. We need to pass in the chains, the providers, and the connectors. So for the chains is going to simply be the chains. That's the chains array. We need to pass in the providers, which is also going to be the providers array, right? And we need to pass in the connectors, right? So the connectors is also going to be the connectors array. And once we do this, right, probably we want to wrap our app around the Starknet config, and we're going to close this, right? Okay, what's wrong? Declaration. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, forgot to react. So we have to return React. We need to return, and all this is supposed to be contained within the return. Okay, sorry. Yep, return. Ah, right. We can just move this. Yep. So once we wrap the Starknet config right around our app, this should give us access to like it should give the children prop right access to like all these elements we just passed in, the chains, the providers, and the connectors. So all we need to do now, right, is we're going to go into our app.js, which is like which contains like our home component. So we want to make want to have access to like Starknet React hooks inside this home.js, right? So to do that, we'll probably need to we'll need to import I think that was called Starknet provider. Yep, how am I doing? We need to import Starknet provider from this component basically we just created. And once we import that, right, we are just going to we're going to wrap this over it, and we're going to cut this, and we're going to pass it in here. And once you do this right, you should have access to like Starknet React hooks basically. So for example, we can come where's our app, right? We can come here and we can create our own connect buttons. So we're probably not going to do the CSS to create a beautiful modal, but we can have something basic which you could probably customize from there. And so if we go into our home.js, you can see from Starknet React Core, we've already imported the user account, the use connect, the use disconnect. So I'm probably not going to use most of all these methods, right? So, but we could basically just so from on use connect, right? You should be able to get connect and connect those from the use connect. And from user account, we should be able to get like the address, right? I think the address should be available from like the user accounts. Okay. And once we have this, right, we could just change it. Let's just change this to the connected, or rather than connected, well, let's just pass in. See, in here, if it's connected, let's just show the address. And we can just map through our connectors, right, and show each individual connector. So we could say do something like from the connectors, right? Basically, you want to map through the connectors, and for each connector, would probably want to create a button, want to display a button, And this button, right, on the click of this button would probably do something like click of the button, you want to call the connect method, and in it we're going to just pass in the connector. Okay, and we are going to close this, and we're just going to have connect to um the connector dot id. Yep, so just connect to the connector dot id. Now with this, right, we should be able to, I think this should loop through our list of connectors. These are the list of connectors we have, right, which as you can see all were imported from Starknet kits. And we're going to loop through these connectors and we are going to display them on our browser basically. And if we save this and we come back here, you can see we now have connect to Agent X, connect to Bravos, connect to Bitkeep, connect to Agent Wallet, Web Wallets, connect to Agent Mobile. This is like same as all we had on the modal, just that that was there was a lot of CSS in play, like right. I was looking beautiful, but I was looks like a bit of crap. But you could probably rework this using CSS basically. So if you click on Connect Agent X, this already connected automatically. But I had this connected previously, so could just come here and clear it, right. And so we can also connect to Bravos, and as you can see, it opens. And once you connect, right, you should have your wallet address displayed. You can also connect to Bitkeep, as you can see. I need to put in my password, which I don't know if I remember. And you can connect to Agent's web wallets, and you can connect to Agent's mobile, basically. So all these connectors now we just made them available right from Starknet Kit and Starknet React. And what you probably need to do going to from here is just to like customize the look and feel using CSS. And once you do that right, doing that properly, you should have like a beautiful modal staring at you. So a feature like a feature developers asked for, right, which we think we are going to make available in the long term, right, is something like having like a default UI, probably a little modal. You could also import in Starknet Kit, right, and using with Starknet React. So it will be optional, though. You can decide to use that, you can decide to not use that. It's totally optional. But this is just basically how you can use Starknet Kit with Starknet React. So all Starknet React hooks can be accessible now from like the home.js, because we wrapped the Starknet provider over the home. And I think that's about it for like interacting, for like using Starknet Kit with Starknet React. Then we have a little introduction to Starknet JS, which we are not going to be looking at in this workshop, right? Well, for people who probably are just coming into the ecosystem, I need an introduction to Starknet JS. There's a little guide here. It goes into the four APIs: the provider, the signer, the account, and the contract. And finally, we have a little template here, which would like help you get started with Starknet Kit. It's very easy to use and should help you like get your Dapps running in like no time. But this template uses Next.js and Starknet kits with an option to like bootstrap with Starknet React. So we have like one for Starknet React and we have one for just Next.js and Starknet kit out of the box. Now let's say I want to use that, right? I'm just probably going to do this. Let's just go out of this. And within our workshop boilerplate, I can to do that, right, I'll just run the npx create Starknet kit app command, and I'll need to pass in the name of my Dapp. So let's call it my app. And once I do this right and I run that command, it's going to ask you if you want to install the create Starknet kit app package. So just going to say yes, and the installation process is going to get started. So first of all, the files are going to be downloaded, they're going to be extracted, and every other stuff which is unnecessary, right, would be deleted, and you would have like a beautiful boilerplate to get started with. All right, as you can see, the installation is done, and you can just seed into this. And we're going to run npm run dev since. Okay, before then, let's just we can open this in our code editor. And once we do that, right, you can see so here's um the templates basically. So if you go into app and check out the page.js, right, so this contains a little JSX. But if you go into the component, check out the connector JS, you should have like the code for like connecting to like the default Starknet kit model. So from my own preference, I prefer to call this particular template the vanilla template, right? Because it's just out of the box. So for example, if you run npm run dev, right, you have this basic application that uses the modal out of the box. So we're just going to go here and we're going to reload this. Right, so as you can see, you have your template here, and also they are linked to like the Starknet Kit documentation, the Next.js documentation, the Starknet React documentation, and the simple about. So if you click on the connect, you can see that what you have here is like the simple connect modal. You can customize the experience following what we learned in like the injected connectors. Then if you want to use like the Starknet React templates, right? What you just simply need to run is you're going to run npx create starknet kit app, and we're going to say my app, but we're going to add the starknet react command. Right, so once we run this, right, npx create starknet kit app. Is that not correct? What was the last one I ran? Create starknet kit app. Oh, okay, I think I know why. Create Starknet. Oh, let's go out of my app first. Sorry. Let's just move out of here like this. So I'm going to run npx create Starknet kit app Starknet. So I'm going to pass in the Starknet React argument, and I'm going to call it my app. Let's just say with Starknet React. My app with my app Starknet React. Sorry, I suck at naming things. Okay, so this should work. Yep. So install this. How Starknet React already exists in the current directory? Please give it another name. Oh, what am I missing? Let's go back to the documentation. So for the Starknet React, okay, it's passing the app name before the Starknet React. All right. npx creates Starknet kit app, my app with Starknet React, right? Yes. So we're going to download files, remove these list files, and once we've installed. So if you're looking for like a simple modal look, right, to probably get started with when using Starknet React, right? I think using templates is a great choice because let's say if we seed into my app SR, and we open this in our code editor, you'll see that in here, if you check page.js, you'll see we have like a simple modal which we could probably use. The code is a bit clunky, and probably next time I'll try to make it remain better. So but you have like a little modal which is already customized. There's a css for the modal which you could probably use, right, for simple apps out of the box. So if you run npm run dev, um okay, all right, so let's reload. Sorry, where are you? Yeah. Now if we reload this, right, so local host, yeah, you can see we have like a different connect button. Now if you click on it, we have this default modal, which is not the out of the box agent modal. Basically, this is like a customized modal, and you can see we still have all the buttons we could add, we could subtract, and I think that's about it for like the templates. So basically, we just in the past, what we did in the last 1 hour, right, is like walk through the Starknet Kit documentation. So I think it should be way much easier to like go through the docs or probably use the SDK from this point. And I think that's about it. I don't know if you have do we have any questions? Hello guys, do we have any questions? We're already out of time. Okay, yeah, thanks Akash. Any other person, any questions? All right. So, probably in the absence of questions, I think we are probably going to be wrapping the workshop up at this point. So, Carlos, I'll probably please just send me the TypeScript demo, and maybe we could probably chat on Telegram later. And I would say big thank you to everyone. Thank you for taking out the time to register and come around for the class. It was all appreciated. Yeah, thank you, Vincent. And I think that would be about it. We'll probably hold more workshops going forward, and but time and the date for those workshops will like be communicated. So as always, if you have any issues with integrating Starknet Kit or any of our products, please just you could reach out to me on Telegram. You could use our Slack, our shared Slack channels or Telegram channels, and I'll be very much willing and happy to like help you out. So thank you so much, guys, for coming around, and do have an awesome day ahead. Yeah, bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.